Hello and welcome everybody back once again to the Init Esports Team USA Talent Scout event powered by Moza. Tonight, we go quite literally under the lights as this is going to be, well, a dark race, as you can see. Break the illusion there with the green screen in the background. But either way, folks, hope everyone's having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. We thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Noss. Joined alongside me tonight is none other than the Sagar Bakshi. Sagar, how are we doing? And how are we looking forward to a little bit of NASCAR?
My heart is racing. It is beating out of my chest. We're going to the Coliseum, folks, where we just raced in NASCAR less than 1 week ago. I am super excited for this one, Mike Noss. Home turf for a lot of folks here at Init Esports, and it's Team USA Scouting event. What else could you ask for on a Saturday afternoon, evening, morning, or wherever you are in the world, as you would say?
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be an electric one, folks. For anybody who hasn't watched a bit of Bristol, here is the format that we have for tonight. This is a half-mile circuit, by the way, or 0.533 to be exact. We're going to have a 4-lap solo qualification, and the race, yes, you see that, is going to be 200 laps. And for those that, of course, are going to be more versed in the, I guess, road racing side of things, that seems like a lot. But here in NASCAR, especially when it comes to a half-mile Sagar, this is going to blow by, unless, of course, we have the infamous events of cautions, where we're going to have a little bit of yellow flag central, potentially. But that's just the way that the Bristol goes. And you can see a lovely track pan here, of course, provided from our production team, aka Esports UK. Massive shout out to them. And of course, a massive shout out to everybody that is partnered with us here today. Moza putting on this event. As you can see, we also have eClutch alongside of us. We're live on eClutch's platform, so a massive thank you to them, as well as, of course, the iRacing, which is the platform that we are going to be racing on here today. We're jumping immediately, though, into qualifying and going to get into it hot, Sagar. This is Vance out on track right now in the 39, and he's got a boatload of horsepower under his foot. Let's see how he manages these curves.
Tolentino coming across the line, getting ready to start a flyer, looking good through turn number 1. Crossing over the apron there, dipping a wheel off to the inside line will be favored. That black tarmac will drag you along, but during turn 3, it doesn't look like he's so aptly doing the same thing. Very interesting, only good enough for 6th position. And we're talking about 15-second laps sub. So it is awfully close here at Bristol under the lights, Mike.
It is, and you can see the margins are thin, especially at the top right now, with Smith at the 114.6 marker, just about a tenth underneath that for Jordan Johnson. Ricky Paz hunting for his first oval victory here tonight. Well, first NASCAR oval victory, of course. He's our previous winner from the Indy race and looking quite strong so far. 4th position for him, and he's in pit lane, seemingly done with his qualifying, so no improvements to be found. Bronson Turner in 5th at the moment. We just saw Vilma jumping up into 6th. They're half a second off the margin. Now, again, I want to take a little moment here to mention a couple things. If you guys are, of course, new to the Init Esports channel, first off, a massive welcome to you. Let me explain a little bit about what we have on format here for tonight, the Team USA Talent Scout event. This is, of course, an event that is a standalone series. So every single event in this series, we have a full calendar of races. This is event 5 when it comes down to it. We've been to Sebring, that was our first round in the GT3s. We went to Indy, which is where we saw Ricky Paz take victory, the Watkins Glen 90 in the GT3s as well. Portland International was the last event that we had in the Formula 4 cars. Bristol under the lights. That's now Road Atlanta 90 in the GT3s. That's October 11th, just around the corner, folks. Signups are available at initesports.gg/carsim. Link in chat if you are looking for that. If you head on over to that website, you can also find that we have a new series. It's a high school and collegiate series that we have put on. So if you're a high schooler looking to get more out there in the sim racing world, highly recommend checking out our high school series, as well as, of course, the collegiate drivers. We have that for you as well. But back to the action in the qualifying. Saga is getting a little bit tighter. We can see the 10th is down here. Sanchez within 89 thousandths of Smith's lap.
Absolutely unbelievable pace from some of these drivers. 14.627 is that pole position time, but Sanchez less than 1/10 back, 89 thousandths of a second back, and he's still out there running that green 126 car. Can they improve when they get to the line? It doesn't look like they're on a flyer right now. 14.824 on that previous, and that will conclude their qualifying run.
And qualifying already over. It was a blink and you miss it type event. Aaron Smith, though, commanding at the beginning of qualifying and managing to hold on to it for the entirety of this session. One thing I want to mention here that I haven't yet, there's prizes on the line here. In fact, there's Moza points, which are going to be randomly drawn after this race. And on top of that, a Moza RSV2 wheel is going to be gifted off to the winner. Some of these drivers bet they wish they had that tonight. A lovely full steering wheel, so NASCAR definitely being a fitting target for that one. And again, a big warm welcome to everybody, especially over on the E-Clutch side. A little reminder of the past Team USA events I talked about. We had, of course, Portland and the F4. That was our previous race that we had. That was taken by none other than Xander Reed. Jordan Johnson taking the victory in the GT3s when we were over at Watkins Glen. And then, of course, Ricky Paz in the IndyCar. Now, Sagar, tonight, more questions to be asked. This is the thing about the Team USA Talent Scout event, right? This is a series that is sequenced with multiple type events over a span of this year. Of course, we're going to have some more events next year as well. Definitely keep an eye out for that. But through this year, we've seen, again, the variety of cars with a variety of winners. We have not had a back-to-back winner yet. Do we think we're going to have one here tonight?
It could be super interesting to see a back-to-back winner, or even someone try to go for the hat trick within it esports during the Team USA Talent Scout event. I'm super excited to see if that's a possibility. The NASCAR Gen Cup cars that we're running this weekend are going to be the Chevy Camaro, the next gen Ford Mustang, and the next gen Toyota Camry. I'm super excited to see which one of these cars is going to come out on top. You know what my favorite is, though, Mike.
Do I? Is it the Camaro? No,
It's
you're a
Toyota.
Toyota guy?
I'm a
Okay,
Toyota
I wasn't
man.
sure.
Sorry.
I wasn't sure. Look, you got to double check. I'm a Toyota guy myself, for anyone curious. No biases here, but either way, of course, the 5.8 liter engine that is going to be under the bonnet of some of these, generating around like 670 horsepower, give or take. It's a lot of torque. It's a lot of traction, or excuse me, it's very little traction, and it's very little track. Half a mile, Sagar. These drivers are going to be turning the wheel, well, pretty much the entire time.
Yeah, really. With 28 degrees of banking, it's one of the steepest ovals in the sport, creating crazy fast lap times, as we saw during the qualifying session. Less than 15 seconds, running around 14.6s right now. But the interesting thing is that as the tires degrade, that tire temperature is going to rise up, and the driver is going to go slower and slower, using different lines across the racetrack as well. So I'm super curious to see if that inside line becomes a faster line, or the high side becomes a faster line, or is there a combination of the two that's going to work out? Because we've all seen what happens during the real NASCAR runs, and it's pretty standardized. Single file is the order of the day. You run the low side, you run it hard, you run it fast, you shove the guy to the high side, and you just can't find a slot back in. And it's almost like free falling backwards in time. You're just losing position after position, and there's nowhere for you to go. Will that happen here tonight? I am super curious and very excited for this event, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. That's the questions we're going to be asking. Before we get into that here, I do want to talk about our title sponsor for this series, Moza. As you can see next to me, I have this lovely Moza R5 wheel, which, by the way, folks, if you guys are looking to drive with us a little bit more, we're going to be starting our Triple Threat series back up again, starting this next coming week. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to be out on track again. Yes, I have a rig set up over there. It's by Next Level Racing, so a big shout out to them as well. I'll post a link in chat for Next Level Racing to make sure, of course, they get their dues as well. But again, that's going to be coming up here Friday it's going to be on Tuesdays now. It's going to be the Tuesday Triple Threat series where you can see this wheel getting put to use, as well as, of course, everybody else joining us. Listen to this shifter. You can't maybe hear it. I guess if I talk, you can probably hear it. There we go. Excellent. But either way, you're going to be seeing that under the lights and with a little bit more light than we have here tonight.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff, Mike. Can't wait to see you back on track again. I'm going to have to dust off my own sim rig, get behind the wheel, and show you who's boss, really. We talk a lot of smack across a lot of drivers in a lot of different series, but finally being able to put Mike's money where his mouth is, well, that's just priceless, I think.
Those who can't do teach is what I was often told, and yes, we're going to see why that's the case, I think. I was driving a little bit on a couple other, I put some laps in just to, dust off the feathers, get everything out. Dust off the feathers? Who says that? Anyways, it's what I've said. I can't take it back now, but we got a good setup going on over here, again, provided by Next Level Racing. So again, a massive shout out to them. There'll be a little bit more on that. You'll see a little more details when it becomes more photo ready. It's a mess, in short, but either way, it's set up, it's functioning, it's working, and I am enjoying the heck out of it. This Moza R5 has been nothing short of amazing when it comes to the force feedback, when it comes to everything about it, including the pedals. I'm absolutely loving them, so highly recommend anybody checking that out. Again, you can type !Moza in chat to have a link over to them. In fact, we're going to give you a little teaser here of what some Moza products are available on the market. And that is going to be a little teaser of what is to come, of course, here tonight. That is of the Moza KS wheel that the drivers are going to be all battling. Excuse me, no, they're not. That's the RS V2 wheel. Again, my apologies. There's so much stuff available. Moza has so many amazing products out there. Highly recommend checking out all of their products. But Sauger, let's talk the race as we get into it. Bristol under the lights. Again, we've kind of mentioned it and alluded to it. We're going to see chaos. We're going to see a little bit of mayhem. What do we think in terms of the yellow flag count? Do we think we're going to make it through this race without one?
Absolutely not. No way. And we all know that part of road racing means cautions breed cautions, even more so during oval races. Cautions will definitely breed more cautions. The restarts are going to be tricky. The lucky dog is going to be very important to some drivers, bringing out some very interesting strategy calls as well. Some drivers who are down a lap or further down the pack may decide to pit a little bit earlier to stay ahead of their other lucky dog competitors. So taking a short pit under the green, teams can pit earlier than the leader, given a green flag run to get fresh tires and stay ahead of other lap cars, improving their chance of being the next lucky dog if an incident should arise. It's very interesting, but those drivers have to avoid incidents and stay in position. There's going to be one fast repair available for all these drivers, so taking that short pit stop under green can pay huge dividends for that lucky dog winner. Perfect.
We're gonna continue. Oh, we're back. Okay, there we are, as we're now back. Anyways, apologies for that, folks. As we get into it, though, again, very short countdown here. The drivers, they are in their seats, warming up, ready to roll here very shortly. And again, why don't we talk a little bit more about these cars? They're slippery, Sauger. These are cars that, yeah, they're new. They're the next-gen NASCAR. You'd think they have a lot of downforce. They look like they do. They got diffusers now, in fact, which adds a little bit for sure. Definitely, though, when it comes to planting your right foot down firmly, you might want to be a little cautious, especially around the streets here of Bristol.
Absolutely. And let's talk about the car setups a little bit, Mike. This is a tight, short track. So you need a car that rotates well in the middle of the corner, but doesn't burn up that front right tire too much. Too tight and you'll plow into the wall. Too loose and you'll spin out on exit. Neither of which are good, obviously. Brake bias management. Bristol's fast laps mean heavy, repeated braking over and over and over again. We're talking about 200 times 4 corners, right? Brake bias needs to be forward to avoid the rear locking up. So not so much that you kill your front grip either. The ride height and suspension. Stiff setups to handle the banking transitions, but enough compliance for stability when diving into those corners. You need to have a well-balanced vehicle beneath you to be able to manage the tight and twisty Bristol circuit. And these short laps are going to be grueling on the drivers with high force feedback as well.
Yeah, absolutely. For anyone out there that has a Moza R21, they are going to be turning down just a smidgen. It's an absolutely brutal track, and as you mentioned there, when it comes to the tight nature, again, you're basically constantly turning is the way that I like to look at it. It's such a short track. The dashes, the darts, and you mentioned the tire wear as well. This is something that is going to play a massive role. It is a tire eater when it comes down to the one-eyed, one-horned flying tire eater. All right, it's not quite as good. It certainly sounded better in my head, but either way, It's going to be a brutal one out there for the drivers on track, and it will be down to a little bit of maintenance, I would imagine. You know, talk about the variety of the high line versus the low line, and with the low line being on the inside, you're going to be, of course, using a little more grip to be down there. If you're up on the high line, you can maybe save a little bit. So we might see the drivers start down low, move their way up as the race goes on, and then kind of work their way back down as the aggression starts. We don't have any stages in this race, so this is just going to be a 200-lap showdown without any other of the confusion that other, of course, real-life NASCAR series offer when it comes to having different stages where you will have, after a certain amount of laps, a checkered flag, basically a green-white checkered is what they call it. We don't have that here tonight. The only green-white checker that we have to worry about will be down at the wire towards the end of this race when they are going to be in the final 2 laps. If there is a caution within those final 2 laps, it's good to go. It's green flag no matter what. If you do it before that, though, you can find yourself having another caution flag, and then you'll re-rack, restack, and go again.
Now, Mike, since you're talking about getting behind the wheel of the car, what are you setting up your vehicle for, or what are you trying to get out of this race? Are you setting up your car for short run or long run balance? Do you decide that your car wants to fire off quickly from the restarts, or one that's going to save tires for a 50-lap run?
I don't think we're going to get 50 laps, Sauger. I think we're going to see kind of a balance between the two is my prediction. So there might be setting it up for a more medium type run. You'll probably have enough fuel to make it the long run, but your setup, you're going to be probably able to run a little bit more aggressive just in the nature that we're going to see a couple cautions here. At least that's what's predicted on the horizon. It's just the nature of Bristol. It's one of those tight circuits. In practice, we've seen a lot of drivers spinning here. This is a case, again, of the low speed cars. They just don't do well, these NASCAR Next Gens, at these lower speeds, and they're very, very volatile when it comes to the right foot. Let's get into it, though. We have a grid set. Let's talk about our lineup here for the Team USA Talent Scout Event 5 with Bristol under the lights. Aaron Smith, your pole position sitter, with a 14.627. Behind that, Eduardo Sanchez with a 0.09 behind. Third, belonging to Jordan Johnson with Aaron Brown in fourth. Ricky Paz coming up in fifth with Bronson Turner down in sixth. Alexandro Velema down in seventh with Dylan Acheves in P8. Vance Tolerino in P9 with Edgar Sancinelli in 10th. 11th here belonging to Sean Roberts, and 12th to Morgan Stringer. As this grid, of course, gets set and gets ready under the lights, Sauger, it is going to be tight. You can see a lovely pan here of the circuit, again provided by our production team, AK Esports UK. Massive shout out to them, and of course Tom Bryant on the pictures. It's very early for him, in fact, around 2 o'clock in the morning. So let's give some love to Tom in the chats, no matter where you are in this world. If you're watching on the E-Clutch as well, we thank you for joining us here tonight. Sauger, it's Bristol. It's almost time, and my nerves are pumping. I can't even imagine what the drivers are feeling right now.
I bet they're feeling like there are 160,000 people packed into this stadium right now. They're itching with excitement and fear within them, because the bump and run is going to be a surefire thing here at Bristol. But the pressure is on with such a great prize on the line. Mike, you're almost convincing me to become a Moza man, and I don't even race anymore. I'm on my way to getting my own Moza setup myself. But with such an amazing group of individuals, with such amazing prizes on the line, the production is absolutely phenomenal. They've just got to be beaming with excitement and grinning from ear to ear right now.
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt about it. You know, this is one of those events, especially here in NASCAR. Again, we've seen last year where maybe there was a little bit of a stretch. Bell took the victory over Keselowski by a pretty significant margin. Or excuse me, no, that was this year. My apologies. That was this year. It was a pretty tight race, all things considered. Last year, not so much. Larson over Elliott, and of course, being quite dominant. This, though, this is it, folks. We see the drivers all lined up in pit lane, and the pace car, or should I say in this case, pace truck, is pulling away, and we have our out lap beginning here. The drivers need to get as much heat as they can in the tires ASAP, because there isn't much lap to talk about.
No, there really isn't. It's going to be a very short formation here under the lights. It's going to be 2 rolling laps, though, so 1 + 1 = 2 as far as I'm concerned. But you see the 70 alongside the 126 the 12 to follow in that second row, and it's anybody's ball game right now for the victor of the Bristol Coliseum. And this is going to be a humdinger of a time. I keep on saying it, but I am so excited to see these cars go round and round for 200 laps, Mike.
Oh, absolutely. I cannot wait to see how this strategy develops, because I don't think we're going to see these drivers separating early on. You're going to want to stay in a pack. Now, this isn't your Daytona. You don't need to pit with a pack of 5 people. You can get away with a little bit of alternate strategy, going for something a bit different, get yourself out of chaos early, and maybe find yourself in the money later. That's, of course, an easier said than done task. This is NASCAR. You can be leading the entire race, and on the final lap, it all crumbles like a cookie. That's NASCAR, though. Again, that's how you play it out. And with such talented drivers, Jordan Johnson, Sanchez, Brown, of course, we've seen a load of others out there. Pace car, though, Sagar, is in. Smith is the de facto pace car leader now, and we are going to be going green. It's Bristol, baby. Let's go. As we see, they're developing early. Line and Stern, Smith keeping the lead over Sanchez. Johnson going for the nip and tuck strategy into 30. Thought about going too wide early on here, but not risking that tire wear. We see in the background, though, I think that's Ricky Paz trying to go out there, and maybe a little touch to the wall briefly, and yellow flag out. Who is that on the side? That's Tollerino, unfortunately, that's found themselves in pit lane facing the wrong way, and the only Toyota on track, Sagar, unfortunately, has come into strife early.
That is the definition of commentator's curse if I've ever heard it. Gosh darn it. Tolentino, I apologize to you, friend, but he will be the first car eligible for that lucky dog should another caution period come out now, as all the other drivers are on the lead lap. We'll get bunched up yet again and rolling back, but this is going to be huge for Tolentino's tire wear. He had to make these tires last, and with a big spin like that early, it is not the way he wanted to start this event.
No, it certainly is not. And with a very, like you said, early spin like this is going to cause him to have a bit of vibration throughout the entirety of this stint. He's got full fuel still. It's not where you want to make the mistake, but he is back now, lying in the pack. I don't think any damage happened. Let's take a look, though, at what caused it. So we have the 127 sort of Lightning McQueen style car on the outside. The 39 really taking to the inner apron, gets his tire down, and you can see when he recovers, I don't think there was much heat in the tires, just asking a little bit too much out of it. The result, a little bump to the wall, unfortunately, but certainly his tires were up to temperature after that.
Absolutely. They were roasted, cooking, boiling, however you want to put it. Tolentino has got tires for days now. Blizzard Extreme, thank you very much in the chat. Cheers for Ricky Paz, who's resting his head in 4th place right now, has gained a position overall from starting in 5th. Tolentino's down 3 right now, and Morgan Stringer up 2 positions on the good, starting from the back of the pack.
And Ricky, yeah, definitely one of the dark horses to keep an eye on, an oval expert, but maybe not quite in the NASCARs, more an Indy driver, but again, proving that it's transferable no matter where you go on track. Aaron Brown losing a position early. That's definitely a bit of a surprise, but someone's got to lose some positions. Someone's got to gain some. Bronson Turner also down a position, and of course, Vance dropping 3 from where he started. Pace car should be coming in on this lap here as the lights are out, and it looks like we'll be going lights out on the next lap, actually, as the pace truck. I got to stop saying pace car. That is not a car, Sagar.
No, that is a truck, and that is one of the most unique things I've ever seen. But of course, this was Bristol, baby, as you said, and we're going to see some unique and exciting things. But to see a caution so early on in the race, definitely not what I expected. We're only 3 minutes into this event before our first caution got called, so we've got time left to go for the drivers to catch back up to the rest of the pack.
Certainly do. We currently leading the pack looks to be the Chevy. So Chevy leading over Chevy, as of course the pace car being a Chevrolet truck, and Aaron Smith leading the pack right now. The 126 in the background. It's going to be a single file restart, it looks like here, as the drivers are going to be able to go green once we see Smith get on the hammer. He's the de facto pace car leader, and immediately everybody is off line and stern. This is going to cause a few less incidents, you would think, but immediately Jordan Johnson getting aggressive onto Sanchez. They go side by side early, and that's Johnson taking the change from his pocket, forcing him onto the high line. Paz has a little bit of contact with Sanchez as they try to scramble for the positions, and Ricky Paz manages something out of nothing there. He's up into 3rd.
And that was a free fall moment for Sanchez in that 1-2-6, falling backwards 2 positions because the drivers ahead of him or behind him that were passing him were going for that inside line, and he just couldn't drop back down to take that position again. And we saw that contact that could have ended in tears for fears, Mike Noss, but managed to just get to grips with it. Fastest lap being called out, a 1:15.044. So used to road car racing. We're into the 1 minutes, Mike. I apologize.
I think we're both going to be making that mistake a few times here tonight, but regardless, this is going to be a very quick lap. 14 nines rolling in, 15 zeros from behind. Ricky Paz, though, he's hunting like a lion in the Serengeti right now. And is Jordan Johnson is he an antelope, or is he also one of the big dog hunters out there? Whoa, Ricky Paz a little bit loose there. Almost ends up putting it into the barrier. You gotta be careful. You gotta hold on, and self-inflicted mistakes are absolutely not something that you can afford this early on.
And with such a narrow track here at Bristol, that wall is getting closer and closer after every lap when the tires start fading away from you. Beautiful onboard shot of Jordan Johnson right now in the Apex Racing team trying to drive forward behind Aaron Smith, the second from Team Yellow Vision in that bright yellow car. He's a man who's got 6,000 I rating leading the field right now, Mike.
Yeah, and of course, Jordan Johnson being no slouch himself, he's a Porsche Kawanda driver, and was, of course, on the Apex Racing team, no longer. Looking down in the mid-pack, though, we have some very tight battles as well, and this is sort of the NASCAR nature, right? Is it a battle? Is it a pack? You can kind of call it all the same here, as the 13 and 33 currently are locked up together. Bronson Turner trying to find a way around, but not really in conversation himself. You can see he's back in the background, but will be joining them soon. You can, of course, always lock bumpers with somebody and then work together to push your way forward, but that's risky. You end up getting a bad bump, which especially on this circuit, that can cost you, not just you a massive issue, but it can cause the person you're working with and then a penalty. And from there, of course, the rocks, they tend to tumble downwards and with a spiral. Brown, though, what do you do? Or how do you get by this pack, especially if you're looking right now from Alexandra's point of view?
Right now, it's a waiting game, Mike. You just have to wait out this situation. Work with the car in front of you. Catch back up to the pack that's in front, especially Sanchez. You cannot let him escape right now. He's in an island of his own. You want to catch back up, get that slipstream activated. You're going to have to work through the dirty air first, obviously, but you want that slipstream first and foremost. Tuck into that rear wing as much as possible and drive yourself forward. And it doesn't look good for the car behind them. You can see the 127 right now getting hunted down by Sean Roberts and Morgan Stringer. And this is going to become, I don't want to say it, Mike, this might breed a caution.
We'll have to see. Round the outside goes Roberts, and he's going to keep his foot in it, no doubt. Manages to get by. He's not fully by just yet, though. This is still going to be with a chance in the background, but no, immediately there, Dylan, he actually just sees it. And Chavez hands it on over to Roberts. He's up 3 positions now as a result, our biggest gainer in the field at the moment. Ricky Paz up 2, Jordan Johnson up 1, and Aaron Smith remaining where he was still in the lead of this race. And Jordan still looking very hungry right now, but he's really kept himself in line. Just locking up with Smith, doesn't want to do anything rash right now, and just get to the end of this race. We were a little over 10% complete. We had 20 laps, I think now, of green flag running, which in a 200-lap race, that's always good promise. Hopefully we see the green flag running for a bit longer. That'll cause some interesting strategy, too, if we don't end up pitting under yellow, Sauger. Do we expect them to go 50 laps here?
I do expect the drivers to at least cut this down into quarters. So we might see 3 pit stops here under the lights, but that's not a given. The tires may end up wearing a lot faster because the drivers are out here pushing right now, and the drivers in the lead are catching back up to lap traffic right now. That'll be Tolentino, the next driver that they will catch, and this is going to be hectic, and this is going to be scary.
Yeah, this is something we haven't really talked too much about just yet. The back marker game, which is going to be deadly. Thankfully, not too many to deal with just yet. as of course the field spreads and everybody ends up getting on here. And once you start catching up with other battle packs, that's when things can get very, very dicey. Every single car has the same horsepower, the same spec, the same setup. These are basically stock cars more or less these days, but not quite, of course. Boatloads of power no matter how you look at it. But what that means, what I'm getting at, is that they are very, very difficult to pass other people, even with back markers. You might be quicker than them on track, yes, but you have to be clever. You have to make it safe, and it's always, of course, the responsibility of the overtaking driver to get the pass done.
And I think that's going to be one of the trickiest things for the drivers on the lead lap to do, is get past the driver who's on a lower lap safely. That will be the true tell of a craftsman driver, or if they have the skill and capacity to be the number one spot of the Team Talent Scout USA, in my opinion. Can you navigate back markers? And here we go. The lap traffic is upon us. That'll be Tolentino, the next driver up. And that'll be Sancinelli, excuse me.
Thankfully, looks like they're going to be getting out of the way very early. See, picks that high line, sticks to it. Got to be careful. Don't wash yourself up into the wall. The 57 manages, I think, to keep themselves out of trouble. But Sancinelli there, yeah, being a very good back marker and just moving out of the way. That's the most respectful thing you can do, especially when it's the lead battle. Now, Ricky Paz, he's fallen off a little bit, 8.5 tenths. That doesn't mean much, though, because one caution flag will bring this pack together, and then immediately you'll have the bees swarming on track once again. This is just that song and dance, though, in the middle where these drivers are just trying to survive, and on cue, Alexandro Valema really struggling to keep this car planted.
And Jordan Johnson really doing a good job of gluing himself to that rear wing of Aaron Smith out in first place. Like I said, tucking in behind, following that slipstream. He's sticking with those lap times. Last lap around 15.7 compared to 15.6 from Jordan Johnson. Looking pretty good, looking pretty fast. But you said that Ricky Paz was falling behind? Not so much. 15.7 that last lap around, 15.8 this time around. So he's keeping up with the leaders. He's not really losing touch too poorly right now.
He's not, but he's also not gaining right now, and he needs to find just maybe a couple more thousandths of pace just to give him that little edge over the top pack right now. Keep in mind, of course, they're working together, so Johnson is going to be pushing Smith, Smith pulling Johnson. Ricky Paz doesn't have that luxury. He is nobody to work with right now. He's all on his lonesome. This, though, is going to change everything as Johnson looks to the inside of Smith. Are we going to see the first lead change here for the Team USA Talent Scout event powered by Moza? Yes, we are. Jordan Johnson, your new race leader.
Amazing overtake. Set that up pitch perfectly coming out of the third corner and just stuck a nose along the inside, pushed that wheel well as far and wide as possible. Forced Aaron Smith to allow that real estate on that inside line, and then just took the high line. And then it's just song and dance is over at that point. You're just running wide, you're running deep, and you're not able to carry as much speed this early in the race.
Yeah, and with that, I don't think Smith necessarily fought it too hard. I think he's now just trying to put the shoe on the other foot and do exactly what Johnson was doing to him. This is also going to help out Smith a little bit. As you're the leader, you're going to be, of course, punching a hole in the air for Johnson, meaning, of course, you're doing a little bit more work than them. You're going to be, of course, wearing those tires a little bit more. And with that, now he's just tucking in the background and saying, you know what? Now it's your turn to pull me along. We're going to stick together here for the long term. I say that, and Smith is not really keeping up with Johnson as much as I would like, but this certainly might make it interesting for Ricky Paz. You see, he's just in the back of shot there, 1.5 seconds to the background. And let's see if he can catch up. This, though, a little different battle. Sean Roberts, he's in a hurry to get things done, and he's looking to get it done quick.
Absolutely. And Bronson Turner, the next victim to be called up right now. Bronson in the number 81 Chevrolet, and Sean Roberts in the 333, and a kiss of the wall, and that'll be all she wrote for this battle. I'm not sure if there was a touch there, if that was a wiggle all on his own. The number 81 looks worse for wear right now. Bronson Turner kisses the wall and sustains some significant damage now.
Yeah, that looked to be unforced. It might have been netcode. We'll get a replay of that shortly, though, and definitely take a look at what caused it. Bronson Turner is not going to be discouraged, I don't think, but that's definitely going to be Sean Roberts getting a big advantage now. Let's see, what exactly caused this incident? So we're currently on board with the lead card. Let's see, Bronson Turner, what happened? So as this is going to be, he just touches the wall. There was no net code involved there. That's just a completely unforced error, and that's what pressure can do to you.
Absolutely, like a pot boiling over, the pressure built up and he just couldn't keep the lid on it, and unfortunately just had that brief kiss with the wall, and I don't think the wall liked it very much. Pushed him right back, and Morgan Stringer has a big wiggle, avoids disaster, keeps the caution from flying out as they recover their vehicle beneath them. But again, tire wear, huge thing that's occurring right now, and the drivers are definitely feeling it on lap 49. We said that they would go around 50 laps. Well, now's the time to see if our strategy call was right, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see how they end up playing the pit stop strategies out here. And while they're going to be thinking about that, now is a great time to say a massive thank you to our title sponsor for the Team USA Talent Scout event. That's, of course, Moza, powered by Moza. Highly recommend going over to their shop, checking out all of the product. First off, also, welcome to Hawaiian Sim Racing. Welcome to everyone joining us here. If you take a look at the chat as we currently are watching, actually hold that thought. Ricky Paz getting by a back marker. No dramas, though, to be found. You can find a link to the Moza store and all of their lovely products. If you do use that link as well, it helps us out tremendously. Again, if you're looking to start out in sim racing, highly recommend checking out some of the bundles that Moza offer, the R5, the R3, as well as, of course, the R7 in that range. A great starter package if you're looking to dip your toes into the waters of sim racing, and I definitely would advise you to do so. If you are younger as well, keep in mind we have a high school championship as well as a collegiate championship over on initesports.gg/carsim. A great spot to get started if you are looking to find yourself in the top ranks of sim racing. Now though, back to the action. Sean Roberts, all over the back of Lema like a rash. Do we see a pit stop, and do we see this battle play out on track?
I am super curious of what the leaders are going to decide to do, Mike. Unfortunately, I've been focusing on the deltas right now, and they're fluttering right around 0.8 of a second between them. But the lap times, they're trickling into 16 seconds right now. Just for reference, the fastest lap of the race so far is 14.970. Although they're in a decent amount of traffic, I'm still seeing these very slow lap times come and go. And it's just concerning to me that the tire wear is becoming a surefire thing. On lap 56, I haven't seen a single driver come to the pits other than Sean Roberts so far.
And I'm wondering with that, if the drivers are going to be taking 2 sets of tires or if they're going to be taking all 4s. Not 2 sets, but taking 2 tires or all 4s. Here in NASCAR, you don't need to change all 4 tires. You can manage to just change 2. You can change all 4 if you would like, but it's down to whatever you want as the driver. And of course, the right side tires being worn significantly more than the left due to the nature of this circuit being, of course, high banking. You're going to save tire wear on the inside with the banking, and you're going to be using a lot more up top. So, do you go for all 4? Probably. I would imagine that everyone's going to be taking a set of 4, but as we get to the end, I think that's when the strategy will definitely start to vary. We might see a 2 with a caution. This, though, getting a little dicey. Back markers with battles are always going to make the drivers clinch, but Sanchez and Brown managed to make it through without issue. But Sanchez here, he's trying to challenge Ricky Paz onto the inside. He wants the inside line bad.
Yeah, he does. He keeps on looking to that inside line over and over again, waiting for an opportunity to strike, but he keeps on drifting wide out of turn 2. And I'm not sure if he has the grip to maintain it as we pass the Lightning McQueen car up next. That'll be the next one we have to contend with. And lap traffic giveth, lap traffic taketh away in a bump and run into the rear end coming out of turn 2 again. And he's now looking for a dry line to find a way by. And it looks like Ricky Paz got a way by, but Sanchez, holy Toledo, had to dip, duck, dive, and dodge his way through as well.
Yeah, I think Sanchez is going to be needing to change more than just all 4 tires. There's going to be something in those racing trousers that's going to be quite questionable. Now, everything is okay. Everything's awesome, I guess you could say right now, which maybe wasn't the reality a couple seconds ago. But Ricky Paz brushes the sweat off of his brow and keeps an eye on the road ahead of him, is trying his absolute best to stay ahead right now, but Sanchez charging like a bat out of hell. I'd imagine this is going to come down to the pit lane when it comes to the strategy, but look at that. Brown is now in the mix as well, and he's right on the back. A three-way fight for third right now, and Ricky Paz wants absolutely no part of it.
I think he does want a slice of the pie here. I think he wants to work with these guys to try to find either a way by or a way to hurry up that number 19 out in front of him. Ricky Paz, kind of the cork in the bottle. Looking at the last lap times around, Ricky Paz 15.9, 15.8, 15.8 from the drivers behind. I know they're getting a little bit of slipstream, but I feel like the 126, if unleashed, can go that much quicker.
Yeah, I think you're right. The question is now, he's going to the outside. He's going to try to commit. Ricky's going to give him a bit of a squeeze. The back marker also playing a role, but there's going to be more momentum. If you take that high line, of course, you're going to be able to travel just a little bit faster through the corners, but Ricky managing to command the inside line still, but he has to get on the brakes just that little bit more, and Sanchez manages to slip on by and take third. Brown now all over the back of Paz. Paz, is he falling off right now? Does he need to make a trip into pit lane? Because I almost feel like right now this is kind of like shooting a squirt gun at a house fire. There's just not much going on.
A little monkey see, monkey do. I think now that he's figured out the strategy, he's going to go for that high line, but perhaps not. Opened up that inside line pretty tactfully. Gets a run up to the high line, the 33 on the number 19. Can he make this work just as Sanchez did? I don't think so. He's not working it the right way around, but he is carrying a ton of speed and momentum. They're going to go side by side all the way around for a full lap duration. The 33 just a nose ahead. Can't close the door just yet, but manages to do so, and he's clear, baby.
He's clear, but he's not out of the woods just yet. Let's see what Ricky Paz has in store. He almost loses the car. This is the absolute greatest thing since sliced bread, but Ricky Paz, he needs to make sure he does not become toast, or in this case, some cinnamon toast crunch as his livery is representing. Edgar, though, into pit lane. Frito Sancinelli for one of our first stops under green flag conditions. He says enough is enough. My tires are cooked here on lap 74. Now, is this going to be a full set of fours as he comes on in? We're going to be seeing he misses the box slightly, ignore that, and then lifted up onto the twos. He'll be dropped back down, and then they should pick the other side up, potentially. There it is. So he is going to be taking all fours, as well as a full set of fuel. He'll be on a good run. Hopefully the caution flag doesn't come out soon for him.
Pit stop? Yes, hopefully the caution flag doesn't come out soon for him while he's in pit lane. But right now, this is going to be another pit stop for Chavez out in 10th place. He is going to be the lucky dog, if I'm not mistaken, on the lead lap, or one lap down, excuse me. Aaron Smith also into pit lane. And on lap 77, we're seeing them call.
Yeah, later than we expected. We predicted around the 50s, maybe into the 60s, but they're going for the 70s into the 80s now, which makes me think, are we going for a two-stop race here? Are we going to see these drivers up at the front extend up to lap 100, maybe make it the whole entire time after? That would certainly be a gamble. It's currently looking like the strategy, though, for Johnson now maybe planning for a three-stop, or, a two-stop versus the one-stop, though, might be fortuitous. I think, though, time will tell, as Johnson, again, he is showing really no signs of coming into pit lane. You mentioned the lap times were getting into the 16s. They've come back down into the 15s, so kind of, at this point, plateauing. Maybe that little window, the falling off a cliff for these tires is already done, and they're able just to hang on to what they got.
Absolutely, but I'm seeing Aaron Smith from Team Yellow Vision actually down a lap right now. Have they come into the pits? Yes, they have. 14.7. He's down 2 laps on the good right now. 14.7 being the pit lane time at this time of asking, and he's resting his head in 9th position, 3 laps down, and that's going to be very interesting. Jordan Johnson decides to stay out. Last lap around is 15.7. 15.7 again. I'm going to keep an eye on Aaron Smith's time. Oh, 15.2 already. Wow, he's chopping out half a second a lap.
Ricky Paz here under pressure from Sean Roberts. Roberts on the outside. I think he's going to make this look easy, to be honest, like taking candy from a baby. Ricky Paz needs to come in. He's sliding around like a dog on a freshly finished hardwood floor. There's absolutely no traction for him. And Roberts a little loose there at the top, but manages to keep it under control. Aaron Smith back up a lap. He's now down, looks like 2. He should be, I think, down 1, though. So coming in the yellow vision car to get potentially here. Yeah, there we are. No, anyways, we'll figure it out. He's in a battle, though, soon enough, I would imagine, when the pit stops do end up working their way through. So Johnson still yet to pit. Sanchez, Brown, Roberts, Paz, as well as Valema. Everybody up in the top down to Turner needs to make their one, well, I guess I was going to say one stop, and they just have to make a stop at some point.
Yeah, and if it's going to be 1 stop or 2 stop, I think Aaron Smith is really going to be the deciding factor right now. And he just sets a 15-1, almost as fast as his best lap, that 14-9 we talked about earlier. The leader's got to come down pit road sooner rather than later, or they're just going to lose track position for free.
Is this Johnson under pressure from a Chevis? I think this is. This is probably the time to come in, Johnson, when the back markers are looking to lap you. It might be time, and Valema says, yeah, that's going to be the time too, but hopefully, Sauger, somebody practiced their pit entry and they didn't make a mistake there. I don't know. That looked like we might be seeing some speeding on pit entry. They have to go all the way around the gantry? What's a gantry? Now that I think about it, I've heard that term before, but they basically have to do a whole lap, though, around the entire pit lane.
Yeah, it's a very long pit lane time here at Bristol. It's pretty surprising the way they have this set up, but you do have to go all the way around to get the pit stop taken care of. But here is Aaron Smith in that number 70, working his way back through the field, and he's just making passes now, left, right, and center. Doing a good job of keeping it calm, cool, collected. 15-3 that last lap around. Someone's got to be calling things for Jordan Johnson right now. Someone's got to be a spotter for him and let him know the bad news, and that's the only way I can describe it right now.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily catastrophic, I don't think. Currently, our fastest driver on track is Aaron Smith with a 1:15.3 on his previous lap. 1:15.9 is not anything to shake a stick at. I think that Jordan Johnson here is managing to stay up to pace, and when he does eventually come back out, I think he's setting himself up to be in the lead of this race by quite a bit. Sanchez really nowhere to be found right now. He's about 4.5 seconds to the background and not really gaining. His lap times are about dead even with Jordan Johnson. This though, oh my goodness, Aaron Smith, he is in a hurry as well, and Paz is not going to be one to get in his way.
You know what, Mike? You're not wrong. This is the first time I won't argue with you, but I'll actually pad your expertise here. You're absolutely right. If Jordan Johnson decided to do the same thing as Aaron Smith right now, he would be in a ton of trouble. If he can make it another 5 laps and split this race down the middle, he's looking really, really good right now. Like, yeah, his tires are going to be so fresh at the end of the race, or at least 13 laps fresher than Aaron Smith's. He might be able to pull this one out of a hat. Pull the rabbit out of the hat.
If there's no cautions, though, that's the key. If there was a caution to fall right now, I think he'd be okay. But if there was a caution to fall after he pits, that might not be good for him. Everybody else is going to come in for a new set of boots, and then he'll be on even playing field. No, this is only working out for Jordan Johnson. I actually can't really come up with a scenario in which this is a bad strategy. So, I don't know, he is absolutely cooking right now. Even my producer, Tom Bryant, in my ear saying that, yes, absolutely, Jordan Johnson is on a roll right now. And 4.7 seconds above Sanchez. Let's talk about Sanchez. They've also done the exact same strategy and managed to place themselves in a very high points-paying position, potentially. Is he going to be able to potentially contend with Jordan Johnson? He's been kind of, again, even with Jordan Johnson. Hasn't really been faster, though, at any point just yet.
All it takes is one caution to bunch the field back up, though, right, Mike? And that's all it'll take for Sanchez to get glued all over the rear wing of Johnson and show him that he's still got the pace and momentum to give him a run for his money. And it's not like Aaron Smith has that same opportunity right now, being 2 laps down from the leaders. And Jordan is going to be pitting right now at lap 101, and that might be the right call to make.
Whoa. What the heck just happened in the background right there? What was that? There was a green car that absolutely just T-boned somebody? Okay, we're checking as we're gonna have a replay of that very shortly.
Would have
But
been
certainly a very
Sanchez.
close call.
It would have
Was
been
it?
Sanchez, who's now in the lead of the race, driving the green 126, if I'm not mistaken. And he would
Interesting.
have been awfully close, if not glued all over the rear end of a back marker, because like you said, he's got a 1.3 seconds back, and it looks like it would have been Morgan Stringer he was close to, and Morgan now down in the pits, it looks like.
Yeah, that was a close call. I'm interested to see if it was maybe just me seeing things. This is absolutely terrifying right now. What do you do if you're Aaron Smith? You can't really part the seas. You're not Moses. He's currently just trying to get by anybody he can at this moment, so they're managing to get through. Smith, by the way, ahead of Jordan Johnson. So all that strategy talk that we had, he maybe not quite the strategy plays. Have the tires gone a little too long? Now, the, of course, argument that to counter that is Aaron Smith is going to have to pit a little bit earlier, and will that make a difference? Here, by the way, is the incident I was talking about. So the 126 of Edward Sanchez, a little net code, and my goodness, what a save from that. You said that was Morgan Stringer? Morgan with the hands of a wizard. My goodness, hands of a pinball wizard, I would even say.
Absolutely phenomenal. And again, another caution avoided. That would have definitely helped out Jordan Johnson to get back into the lead of the race, especially help Edward Sanchez out in the lead right now. The driver has 5,000 I rating. The strength of field right now is absolutely phenomenal, and the variety of the strength of drivers is just blowing my mind. You have 1K drivers battling with 5K drivers, 3K drivers in the mix as well. This is just absolutely phenomenal, as Ricky Paz is now in the pit lane.
And that, of course, folks, is a great reminder as well for you at home if you want to sign up for the Team USA Talent Scout event. If you think it's, hold that thought, folks, caution is out. What has happened here? This is Velema facing the wrong way, and it looks like that front wishbone is absolutely shot as well. Gonna have to be using their one fast repair to get back out on track. This is gonna bunch the field up, and Sean Roberts, is he gonna be leading this pack when all is said and done? He started, by the way, back in 11th position. He's up 10 right now. Sean Roberts, I think, has to pit still, but this is looking really good for him. I think, no, he doesn't have to pit because he would have already.
Yeah, Sean Roberts looks to already pit, and Edward Sanchez is in. Aaron Brown is in currently. Morgan Stringer is in. Edgar Sancinelli is in also right now. So a lot of pit stop calls. There goes Sean Roberts into pit row. And who's going to inherit the lead of this race? Edward Sanchez now into the lead of this race, if I'm not mistaken.
Man, we sung the praises of Jordan Johnson and how good of a strategy he had. I don't think he's going to be as good of a strategy as we had. He's still in the money, of course, and I think when all is said and done, Aaron Brown has to pit. Smith and Johnson are both going to get waved around. Why? But they're going to be, okay, they're behind the pace car, and so, okay, we just have to get a little shuffling right now. Smith is ahead of the pace car. Okay, so that's just the timing that happened. Nothing to really worry about. You'll see a little shuffling on the timing tower. Pay any mind to. Ignore the cars driving around. What is happening? Wait, Smith is in? Smith needs to pit. Okay. He should have pit a lap ago.
Yeah, Smith just got the worst of luck right now. He is staying out of pit row, but he has to fall back into position where he was before the caution came out, if I'm not mistaken. And then that'll leave Aaron Brown into P2, Sean Roberts in third. And who is getting that lucky dog? Will it be Aaron Smith, actually?
That's a great question, to be completely honest. As we work this out, I want to take a moment here. Buddy that is watching, a massive thank you for watching the Team USA Talent Scout event powered by Moza. This being event 5 of many, well, 5 of 7 in fact. We of course have Road Atlanta coming up next. That's going to be October 11th in the GT3s. And for anybody at home, Sagar mentioned it, the I rating does not matter. Get yourself involved. If you think you have the talent, to get yourself in the Team USA Talent Scout event powered by Moza. We highly recommend you getting involved. Again, GT3 is up next, the bread and butter for all them to bring it home, the Laguna 45 and the Toyota GR86s in December 6th. Now, with that, folks, pace car is in. We're getting a replay of the incident, though. Hopefully, we can manage this quickly here as we see the 13 down to the inside of the 33. This looks like it's going to be, unfortunately, just a miscommunication, and it looks like it is. The 13 takes the middle lane. Should they have, should they not have? That's a tough one to call, and that is going to be down to the stewards, I think, Sauger, to end up deciding that. But we are back green flag running, and Edward Sanchez leads this race.
Super phenomenal for Edward Sanchez, Aaron Brown, and Sean Roberts, who are all on the lead lap right now. Aaron Smith, Jordan Johnson, both not on the lead lap. One lap down for Aaron Smith, and one more yellow gets called. This will be really interesting to see who stays out and who decides to go back to pit row one more time. Jordan Johnson may decide to go down pit lane just one more time to get a fresher set of boots. But who knows? I mean, if Aaron Smith gets the lucky dog right now, that's going to put him on the lead lap and out of Jordan Johnson's clutches. This is really interesting and really spicy. Will we get a replay of what we saw earlier, or what happened to cause this next yellow?
Yeah, it looks like Dylan Echeves was the one involved. I'm not sure exactly what happened. This is, of course, the famous saying that cautions breed cautions, and this is an exact example of that. The order stays the same up front right now, and Edward Sanchez leads Aaron Brown, Roberts, and Aaron Smith, but Jordan Johnson behind. How Jordan Johnson ended up down a lap is absolutely insane to me. I don't fully understand, but the top three had not pit when the yellow happened, so that's where they actually ended up getting such an advantage, as they just managed to pit under yellow. The other drivers didn't. And with such a short circuit, they ended up with being, of course, in the order that they are now. And Aaron Smith getting the lucky dog wave around, so he'll be back on the lead lap, but at the back of the lead pack. So managing to gain up back onto the start lap. I hope that made sense.
Now, Jordan Johnson will be the next driver up for a lucky dog. He's going to be really hoping for a caution to catch back up to Aaron Smith if at all possible, or even better so, if he gets the wave around for the next caution. That means that Edward Sanchez, Aaron Brown, Sean Roberts, and Aaron Smith will all have to pit, which is a very, very unlucky dog.
Yeah, it certainly is. But, you know, speaking, though, with Jordan Johnson here, I wanted to mention the fact that he has an incredible spotter alongside of him, Athena Leclerc, who is an oval expert herself, going to be coaching him along here tonight and where he needs to be, what he needs to do. So if anybody can come back from this one, I know it's Athena, and of course Jordan Johnson just being an extension right now of Athena's grasp. So a big shout out there to Athena Leclerc for joining us in the spotter role, and of course Jordan Johnson going to be benefiting greatly from that. So far, though, again, just getting the unlucky call with the yellow flag. But you know, when I want to take a look here at the standings in terms of where everybody is, the movers, the shakers, Sean Roberts up 8 positions. What an incredible first stint for him. And on top of that, Morgan Stringer up 5.
Yeah, really looking good for him. Aaron Smith, unfortunately, down 3. Jordan Johnson's down 2. Ricky Paz down 1 from where they started this event. Aaron Brown and Edward Sanchez are going to be on that front row looking pretty neat and tidy, and it will be green flag the next time by.
Pace car lights are out. There's going to be the Chevy truck pulling back into pit lane. We're going to be a 2x2 start on this one, it looks like. Going green once more. Cautions breed cautions. That's what happened on the last occasion. Let's see if it happens once more. Sanchez is away. Brown under pressure from Roberts right now as they're going to be pushing each other here into the first 2 corners. Looks like, though, Sanchez getting quite a lead early on. Side by side, though, for the out 2. It's Jordan Johnson, actually. He's looking to unlap himself in a hurry. He has shot himself through this grid like a cannon, Sauger.
Absolutely phenomenal drive, and he's glued all over the rear end of Aaron Smith, the driver he's contending with right now. We're going to get another yellow flag, though, potentially, as we've gotten a huge crash in the backfield right now, and the drivers on the lead will probably be catching up to this accident any moment now, unless they've got it clear from the racing line.
Yeah, the rules, of course, with the yellow flags are all cars have to be on the, or if, excuse me, if all cars are on the apron, there is no yellow flag. So if they're below the apron, that is, there will be no yellow flag. This is a replay, by the way, of Aaron Smith and what happened in the chaos. So this is the 127 that we're battling. This is Achevis who ended up getting involved, or 1739 as well here, but looks like, oh, the 39 gets loose and the 70 just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Aaron Smith, a passenger, as we unfortunately see Vance there just lose it on his own.
Pretty crazy stuff there. But like you said, thank you very much for pointing out the rules for NASCAR. The cars were on the apron before the yellow flag came out, so no yellow flag was called on that occasion. Jordan Johnson down a lap to Aaron Smith. The battle for 4th and 5th is still pretty heated, but Sean Roberts, Brown, and Sanchez all within a second of each other right now. This is looking pretty nice and neat for the drivers on the lead lap. They're doing a very good job of keeping it calm, cool, and collected and managing their tires for now.
Where is Johnson? How did he manage to get here? Is he ahead of the pack or did he fall back? I think him and Ricky, yes, they are ahead. Wow, okay. So this is extremely good for Jordan Johnson and Ricky Paz. They might still be a lap down, but they are on the freshest tires out of anybody right now. This is going to play dividends to them. We'll see if they can manage to catch back up. Now, of course, Johnson was absolutely hoping with every single toe, finger, and ligament crossed that he possibly could have crossed that a caution fell on the previous lap, but it didn't. Jordan Johnson, he stays a lap down for right now, just mainly due to unlucky strategy calls. Well, again, now he's locked up, though, with the back marker. I almost wish he would stay with him right now. Aaron Smith and Jordan Johnson, they should be working together.
No, not at all. Jordan Johnson needs to unlap himself as much as possible right now. He cannot rely on a lucky caution to get him unlapped. He needs to get ahead of Jordan Johnson and Aaron Smith as much as possible. Now we're looking at Sean Roberts as he chases down the 33 of Aaron Brown, both drivers from US of A. America, America. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go for the 33 versus the 333 threat. They're separated by 0.2 of a second on the racetrack, and Brown's behind Sanchez by under half a second as they both try to get by the 70, and he's going to have to close down the gap all on his own now as the 70 takes the high bank line and allows the lead cars to go right on through.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Aaron Smith is walking around like a wounded tailed deer. He's not quite having the most success right now in terms of his horsepower, not able to really put everything he's got down. I'd imagine there's some damage on this car, and if we went on board, I bet the steering wheel doesn't necessarily look the straightest. And no, it's not just because we're on Bristol either. Sean Roberts, go ahead.
He stole the lucky dog away. Smith is out of the race.
Wait, what? He's disconnected? He's disconnected. We're having word. I'm not sure if that is intentional or unintentional. But unfortunately, I'd imagine unintentional, as that doesn't seem like Smith's nature. He's quite in a good spot. As you mentioned, stole the lucky dog from Jordan Johnson, but now Jordan Johnson will have it back if another caution does fall.
I thought that was such a wise strategy from Aaron Smith there to steal the lucky dog away, save tires for a few laps, let Jordan Johnson get behind him. Then he knew he was always going to be the lucky dog ahead of Jordan Johnson, who is 2 laps down. And then he would always going to make the lap back up and get on the lead lap with the rest of the field. But no, an unfortunate mistake or unfortunate technical failure from Aaron Smith gets him out of this race. Super unfortunate, disappointing to see. We never want to see a race end like that, Mike Noss.
No, you absolutely don't. And hopefully they manage to get back in the session. I'd imagine, though, with being a few laps down at this point, it is a futile effort, unfortunately, for Aaron Smith. Hats off to you. We hope to see you in the next event, of course. The GT3s, hopefully playing a little bit more lucky than the NASCARs, with the lucky dogs, unfortunately, well, not falling in the right ranks. But we still have a 3-way battle for the lead right now. Sanchez, Brown over Roberts, and Johnson, who should theoretically be in this battle at some point. He's kind of gone right now. Whoa, my goodness, though. Is that Stringer with a wiggle, or was that Valeman? Either way, that was so close. It was Sean Roberts, actually, is who that was, nearly putting it into the wall. And how good of a race. And speaking of putting it into a wall, looks like somebody has. Yellow flag is out on lap 143, Sauger. We almost made it to 150, but it's Bronson Turner, who's having such a good race before this. Unfortunately, faces the wrong way, gets back going, though, and doesn't look too damaged, but looks can be deceiving.
Absolutely. But you know who's going to be very, very lucky? Some would even call him a lucky dog. Jordan Johnson.
Jordan
right
Johnson.
now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Jordan is going to be absolutely singing praises and grinning from ear to ear right now. He's going to be back on the lead lap. This is what happened, by the way. So all on the lonesome, it looks like. Seeing a bit of dirty air, probably playing a role there. The car gets loose, and you see he ends up resolving himself above the apron. Does get below it pretty safe, so all things considered, a very safe crash. Gonna have a couple pennies on the tires, but it looks like some pennies for your thoughts as we go into pit lane, and we're gonna be trying a new set of boots. I'd imagine just rights for these guys.
I wonder if Jordan Johnson will go down pit road. He did take a pit stop, excuse me. Oh, Johnson and Paz did stay out. Excuse me. Paz now in pit lane. Sanchez, Brown, and Roberts all pit, though. So this should be a wave around for Jordan Johnson, technically.
Yeah, it is going to be even no matter what. He's going to come out in seemingly fourth. Yeah, he's going to come out in fourth position here. And that's going to be a problem with new tire. I think, though, Sanchez and Brown, did I only see them take two? I think I only saw them take two tires. It seems like they took all four. Okay, my apologies. I tried to pay attention. The camera on me. I didn't quite see it. So they got new four sets. Johnson, he pit on lap 102-ish, so his tire's about 40-something laps old. We know the fall-off window is around that 60 to 70 mark. So Johnson should have a bit of rubber left in order to contend here, but I think he's just going to be trying to survive to the end now, right? I think that's going to be his best strategy. And just hope that somebody ahead takes each other out. I don't see how Johnson is going to stay with this one competitively. But again, with Athena Leclerc alongside, if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's going to be them.
And this is going to be super interesting. Well, he's on the lead lap now. All he needs is one more caution to come out for him to really have to make some hard-pressed decisions to pit or to inherit the lead of the race. That will be the real question to ask later down the road. He's done all of the hard work to get back onto the lead lap after getting a very unlucky caution. Now he is back in the mix, ready to fight. He's on old tires, 47 laps old compared to some of his opponents right now, but he still has a fighting chance, to say the least.
Yeah, he does. And obviously in NASCAR, anything can happen. It's serious. Again, you don't even know if in fifth, and Jordan Johnson, well, he's currently in fourth right now. And again, he's got those worn tires. I don't think it's going to play as much of a role as we think, but we're going to find out now. Sanchez is away, and our pace car is in. Brown's out, and it looks like Valema has it early, but has gotten it back going. That was Bronson Turner, excuse me, in the black machine there. That's gotten going once again, though. So no yellow flags are out yet. This is Roberts all over the back of that car. No, this is, yes, that is the car that ended up spinning there. So Turner getting lapped early here, getting set down another one. Sanchez, though, leads over Brown, over Roberts, and Jordan Johnson doing exactly what I would have figured, just kind of sitting in the background and hurry up and waiting.
Yes, he is. He's really got to manage these tires. Another 50 long laps left to go before he can decide to take the checkered flag. But how does he take the checkered flag? In first or in fourth? Time will only tell. 14.8 being thrown out from Eduard Sanchez. A 14.884 will be the new fastest lap of the event. The 19 chases the 33 out in front, glued all over the rear wing right now. And that's Ricky Paz trying to get his lap back on that 33 out in front of him. He's doing a good job to try to go the high side all the way around, and he's clear. The 19 is working good.
Yeah, Sanchez just let him by. That is the smart call. There is absolutely no point to battle with that one. Or excuse me, that was Brown. My apologies. I think that was Brown that we saw in that battle. So Aaron Brown just letting it happen. There was absolutely no reason to fight Paz in this instance. It just adds extra risk. So let Paz go flying up the road and let him catch Sanchez. That's okay. He's still got to get around the track once more. Roberts, though, he's doing an incredible job of just sitting in the wing mirrors right now and trying to catch his advantage back up. He's down. He knows it. His tires are not as good as the others around him, so he just has to nurse them as long as he can and end up just pouncing while the iron's hot. It looks like this might be the occasion. Sean Roberts a little bit wide through turns 3 and 4. This is going to be Roberts to the in on the loud pedal now as they cross the line. This should be advantage to Sean Roberts, but the old tires, are they going to be good enough? No. Roberts is going to manage to hold on.
Roberts on the new tires, Johnson on the old tires, trying to work their way through the field, and it's just not working out for Jordan Johnson. Last pit was a 101 for the pit lane time, and on lap 101, excuse me, and that is going to be absolutely terrible. 57 old lap tires at this point in time is just got to be so punishing. And now he's falling worse for wear. He's going to get passed by the 13 of Alejandro Vilima now on the inside, it looks like.
He's not going to be taking that, though, lightly. I think he'd rather him lock bumpers, but I don't think Alexandro wants anything to do with that. He just wants to unlap himself and get as far up the road as he possibly can. Taking a very aggressive line. Johnson, though, kind of taking the middle line, which isn't really a thing around this track. There's two definitive lines on this version of Bristol, the inside and the outside. That middle line almost, I feel, is going to be costing him. So far, not too much, but we do see Roberts and Brown really favoring the inside, and it looks like Sanchez also going down in the lower line. So Johnson kind of being a bit of an outlier here, and is that the difference? Is that what's making this cost? Now, I think the obvious answer to that is Johnson is on old tires, and he's trying to save every bit of rubber he can right now, but it just doesn't seem to be working that well.
No, it's really not. Taking that middle line is not going to help him out much, and you can see that delta just stacking up. It was 7/10 a lap and a half ago, now fluttering around 9/10 of a second. But it looks like Sean Roberts is closing down on Aaron Brown. The gap is just 0.3 of a second. But looking at Edward Sanchez, he's in a healthy position right now on the freshest set of tires from the rest of the grid. 2 seconds in the lead. Who would have thunk that the driver in second place would win this race? But we still have a full 36 laps left to go. My math had to math for a second. I may be Indian, but I can't do math in my head.
Well, with that, of course, folks, I do want to take a little bit of a moment here and remind everyone is involved for this event. So big thank you to everybody, of course, joining us on the Twitch channel for the twitch.tv/InitEsports, as well as, of course, if you're watching this on the eClutch platform, thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Excuse me, we don't have a like button over here. Hit the follow button over here on Twitch. Of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, hit the like button while we are seeing all the VOD watchers. But of course, this is going to be an event put on by Moza, folks. If you guys are looking to pick up a bit of kit for sim racing, I highly recommend you heading on over to the Moza website. You can type !Moza in chat or click the link that is already posted there to find all of the amazing gear. On top of that, of course, thank you to Trackalicious, our community partners, as well as, of course, iRacing for allowing us on this amazing platform. And a reminder, folks, if you guys haven't already and you are in high school or you're in college, sign up for the high school or the collegiate championship that's coming up at the end of this month and the beginning of next. You do not want to miss it. Sign-ups available on initesports.gg/carsim. Links in chat as well.
Mike, I don't want to be a hungry American and start talking about the next event that's coming up, but I'm super excited. Road Atlanta GT3s. Come on now, that's got to be one of my favorite track car combos on the planet.
And right around the same time that the real life event is going to be going on as well. So he's seeing, of course, a lot of Road Atlanta practice in that time. It's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it, and signups are still available up to the event itself. Highly recommend you getting involved here. Again, Team USA Talent Scout event is not just one event, it's 7 events over the course of the year, and every single one is building repertoire, building that credit, showing that you can handle adversity through driving, and getting yourself to be on the Team USA, of course, for sim racing. Back to the action, though. Sean Roberts still on the back of Aaron Brown, and he is going nowhere. One thing I have noticed, Sagar, is Edward Sanchez. He has disappeared into the darkness, but I don't think that's the whole story. We're catching. It might be slow, but it's reeling him in like a swordfish in the ocean.
Yeah, the lap times right now, 15.7 that last time around for Edward Sanchez, 15.6 for Aaron Brown, 15.5 for Sean Roberts, 15.5.9 to be exact, but we are catching at a rate faster than not, and a little bit of lap traffic now getting out of the way for the drivers on the lead lap, playing a very good part in this by not getting in the way of the drivers on the lead run of things. The number 19 takes the high line, dropping down to the inside line. And this is whom now? That is Ricky Paz getting involved in this battle and sticking his nose probably where he doesn't want to be honest with you.
No, this hasn't really been the day for Ricky, or the night, I should say, for Ricky, as much as I hate to say it. He's down in 5th right now, a lap off the lead. It's a long ways to get to the top here. He's still got a chance, of course, with the wave around. He might manage. In fact, actually, no, he is not. Oh, he isn't a lap down, technically. I don't think he's still on the lead lap. Maybe it's just the Delta. Okay, the Delta is just playing with me. He is a lap down. So he would get the wave around if we did have one more caution, which, of course, as we get down to the end, they start racing each other just that bit harder. What's happened, though, to Roberts and Brown? It seems that a big gap has suddenly fallen off. The back markers, I guess, playing a role more than we would have expected. Oh, it's gap to leader, that's why.
And yes, that is the gap to the leader. So separated by around 0.3 of a second. Ricky Paz getting involved in forming that gap, getting them to be separated by 0.3 of a second. Otherwise, I imagine they would be quite a bit closer on the racetrack, but the 333 chases down the 33. And this is just a battle of the threes right now. 4.5 off the leader right now. It's looking pretty good for these drivers in 2nd and 3rd to throw one down with Edward Sanchez with just 19 laps remaining, Mike Noss. This race has gone by in a blink of an eye.
It really has. We haven't had too many cautions. I'd say it's been a very reasonable amount. Now, knock on wood, I'll continue here because there's still plenty of racing action left. 20 laps nearly to go before we reach the end, and that's assuming we have no green-white checkers. The driver's got the nose to the grindstone at this point, and Sanchez is going to be feeling a little bit of pressure, maybe like the mythical Titan Atlas, who once had the weight of the world on his shoulders. That's going to be a similar feeling here to Edward Sanchez, is going to be getting caught at a rate of knots by Aaron Brown as well as Sean Roberts. And with a 3-way fight for the lead, well, we all know how that can end up. For anybody, of course, that watched the eNASCAR finals back a little bit, last year at this point, Parker White taking the victory there in such a spectacular fashion. You love to see it, and I sense a little bit of a repeat here, or should we say a three-peat with 3 drivers involved? No, not quite.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. This is going to be a showdown to the very end. You're absolutely right, Mike, in calling it like you saw it. The gap is handily coming down from Brown to Sanchez out in P1. 1.1 is the gap, and closing every single lap by at least a 10th. The drivers in 2nd and 3rd are definitely working together to catch back up to Sanchez. Know that there's only one way they get out of this, by working together as a team.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they have to do right now if they want to make any progress at all. And Sanchez needs to get the hammer down. Now, his tires, I think, are a little older than that, not by much when it comes to the pit lap. They actually, no, they did pit on the same lap, so there is going to be no advantage here. It's just down to the raw pace. Last lap, a 15.725 compared to a 15.735. 10 thousandths of seconds separating them when it comes to lap time, but every 10,000th adds up into tenths. Tenths, they add up into seconds, and we don't have that much time left, but they need to get the hurry up on.
And I think Edward Sanchez was holding himself in reserve for a little bit because now he's picked up the pace. 15,666 that last time around, but now he's facing lap traffic one more time, and the drivers behind have clear air. Let's see if he can close down the gap on these lappers and get back to where he wants to be, running right around that 15.7 mark, 15.6 car. And he's doing all right. He's by Lightning McQueen at this point in time, and he's doing pretty well. Sean Roberts closing down the gap on Aaron Brown by 0.2 of a second, and it's just fluttering right around there, but they're still working together to close down on Sanchez.
Yeah, certainly so. And Edward Sanchez, he's just going to be counting the laps down right now. Every time he makes it to that checkered flag, he's going to be saying to himself, I'm one lap closer to winning the prize. I'm one lap closer, and every single lap is going to be getting tight. Let's see if Roberts and Brown start battling, though. That might just be the nail in the coffin, and the Moza RSV2 wheel might be sealed in the hands of Edward Sanchez. Only time will tell, though. This looks like Sean Roberts here. Back markers, I think, playing a role, but he seems like he's getting a little bit more racy, maybe a bit fed up that Aaron Brown isn't catching Sanchez as quickly as he would like. Roberts might want to be ahead now.
Wow, the gap really came down there when Edward Sanchez had to get by the 57. Yeah, Sanchez was 3 wide there, it looked like, for just a moment. Now the gap down to 0.8 of a second with 5 left to go, Mike.
5 to go, folks, and let's hope that we don't get the green-white checkered, and let's see if we get all the way down to the end. Sanchez, Brown, Roberts, your top 3. Johnson in 4th, Paz in 5th right now with Morgan Stringer 6th, Valema 7th, Turner in 8th, Santinelli in 9th, and rounding out your top 10, Achevis. That's the top 10 right now. The top 3 are who we have our eyes on. Sean Roberts getting awfully racy. He sees an opportunity, though. He lifts off the throttle, not wanting to get too dangerous. That's going to cost him, though, as he gets stuck behind the 91. This is another lap of strife for him, and every single lap that he's not pushing the bumper of Brown, he is not getting closer to Sanchez. Brown, though, within a second now. Is it enough? Has he left it too late? There's 2 laps to go, so there's no more cautions to be found. And it looks like the show is going to be Edward Sanchez. Dale Earnhardt took victory the first time in April 1st, 1997. Edward Sanchez looks like he might be taking his first victory here. Sanchez with 1 to go. The white flag is out. And this is the time. The victory lap, the checkered flag lap. In the background, you see Brown and Roberts just out of camera shot, but Edward Sanchez has done enough. He's done everything, in fact, and he will be the victor for Event 5 for Team USA Talent Scout event powered by Moza. Edward Sanchez, that's his first time win, and that is yet again another first time winner in the Team USA Talent Scout event. We have yet to have 2 of the same, and Edward Sanchez, congratulations, you've just won yourself a RSV2 wheel.
Just like Jack Smith, who won the very first NASCAR race at Bristol through an amazing turn of events. Now it's Edward Sanchez who's doing an amazing job here at Bristol, taking the Innit Esports Team Talent Scout USA victory and a wonderful Moza prize. Aaron Brown and Sean Roberts crossed the line with just a 10th separating the 2 of them. Jordan Johnson in 4th position with Ricky Paz in 5th. Morgan Stringer in 6th, Alejandro Valema in 7th, Bronson Turner, Edgar Frito Santinelli, and Dylan Aceves in 10th. That'll round out the 10 drivers who finished this race.
And what's for dinner tonight, folks? Yeah, that's right. It's some donuts. Edward Sanchez doing the traditional victory donuts on the checkered flag line. He's earned it tonight. My goodness, he started in 2nd and he's managed to finish in 1st. Unfortunate for Jordan Johnson, for Ricky Paz. They didn't quite have the performance that they should have put on, I think, in their own minds, but still nothing to shake a stick at, and they'll be back, of course, for the future events, I would imagine. Aaron Brown, though, up 2 positions, but I think really, as much as I don't want to call this the driver of the day, but I think it's credit where credit's due in this case. I think Sean Roberts has earned the driver of the day in my eyes. 8 position gain. Now, Morgan Stringer, I want to also give that title to, because 6 positions gain. He finished in 6th. Beyond that, though, I think this is an incredible one. And here, folks, here are your results. Edward Sanchez taking victory. Aaron Brown in second. Sean Roberts taking home third with Jordan Johnson in fourth. Ricky Paz, fifth. Morgan Stringer in sixth. Alexandro Valema taking seventh with Bronson Turner in eighth. Edgar Sanginelli in ninth. Dylan Acheves in P10, Vance Telentorino in P11, and last but certainly not least, Aaron Smith with an unfortunate disconnect with 33 laps in. Sauger, what a race. My goodness, that was incredible when it comes to our top few drivers. I have to say, I wasn't sure. Aaron Brown, I maybe thought he had it in him with Sean Roberts. Those two, they locked bumpers. I think if Sean Roberts had a little better qualifying, which I'm really excited to hear from Sean when it comes to that, if he had a better qualifying, would he had a better result?
Possibly so, but you never bet on wishful thinking, right, Mike Noss? It all comes down to what you can do with what you're given, and some other drivers on the grid just had that much better pace during their qualifying run. They're able to get that track position, but it all came down to that lucky dog strategy and that caution that came out kind of towards the mid-race timeline. Edward Sanchez, Aaron Brown, Sean Roberts, all getting very lucky with their pit stop calls, staying out on a lead lap as well. Inherited 1, 2, 3, stayed ahead of Jordan Johnson and Aaron Smith, really threw a wrench into their ball game.
Yeah, and Jordan Johnson, you mentioned his name. I definitely, seemingly, according to us, pre-100 laps was on the best strategy. It didn't work out that way. It turns out the commentators, they don't know what they're talking. Wow. Have thought that. Either way, no, sorry. But of course, Jordan Johnson, not an oval driver. I'll just put that out there and preface that. He is a circuit driver at heart. And I think, again, when we head over to the GT3s, he'll be maybe a little bit more competitive. And I'm very excited to see that. Now, don't go anywhere, folks. Of course, what are we waiting around for? We're waiting for some interviews here. So we're going to be hearing from our drivers very, very shortly. We're hearing from all three of our top three, I suppose: Edward Sanchez, Aaron Brown, and Sean Roberts. Now, Sauger, some of the questions, of course, that we're going to be having again is that what would have happened when it comes to strategy here. I think Aaron Brown, Edward Sanchez, and Sean Roberts, when it comes to that first pit stop strategy, it really set them apart from the rest. So I'm curious, again, what your thoughts are when it comes to that and what their thoughts are as well.
I think that they wouldn't have played this any differently than the way that they played it. I think they got lucky when they needed to get lucky. They took the right calls that they needed to make. Just perhaps a little bit more luck with lap traffic. They could have closed down the gap on Edward Sanchez. And I think that's really all it took. But Edward Sanchez really did have the pace. A 14.884 being the fastest lap of the event. And he did that during his third stint, if I'm not mistaken. So he was one of the fastest drivers on the grid tonight here under the lights at Bristol. And he proved that he is not only the fastest, but he had the consistency to take home P1.
Yeah, absolutely. And barnstorming performance, and really showing that pressure doesn't matter all the time. He really did seem like that was a difficult one to win. Now, I'm sure, again, under different story. If we were seeing his sim racing rig, I'd imagine it's kind of coated in sweat right now, but there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we're here for, right? A little bit of a challenge, a little bit of a trial, and that is what the Team USA Talent Scouts is about, right? It's not about your results. It's not about winning the race. It's about how did you make it through the race? How did you come back? Where did you start? Where did you finish? And what were the stories along the way? And that goes, of course, throughout all of the Team USA Talent Scout events that you participate in. Signups, of course, still available over on initesports.gg/car-sim. Next event, October 11th in the GT3s at Road Atlanta. You do not want to miss that. It's going to be the absolute bread and butter event. I suspect we're going to have quite a few signups, so the earlier you get signed up, the better on that one, no doubt. The GT3s tend to be quite popular here in this sim. Now, I guess while we have a little moment, I do also want to bring up the fact that, again, Moza is the lovely sponsor of this stream. Of course, this here being the Moza R5 bundle wheel. I got the Moza R5 bundle over there. You're going to be seeing it on Tuesdays with our new Tuesday triple threat. I'm going to be joining Mike Pico for that, and we're going to be hosted here on the Init Esports channel. So you'll be seeing this wheel being driven in a little bit. Now, though, Sauger, I think enough talking. Why don't you take us through the interview here? We have Sanchez ready to roll.
Mr. Edward Sanchez, first of all, a handy congratulations to you on taking P1 and the prize of this event. How do you feel and how sweaty are you? Because even I'm sweating right now.
Man, when I tell you the biggest thing tonight for me was qualifying, and when I got second place, I was like, oh, let's go front row. It was my first ever front row doing this event with Innate Esports. I mean, my first race was back with Watkins Glen for the GT3, and that race was not that well. Didn't go that well for me. And then the next race was the F4. I started in third, and then at one race I flipped over. So, for once I'm on the front row, I'm like, all right, my luck better turn around this time, and it did. And man, the whole time I was just sweating about, did I get the setup right? I had all these guys pass me. I was starting up second, and then I think it was obvious to everybody. I started falling like a rock. I had no short run speed at all. The setup was just not that really good. When the track temps got colder though, that's when I was able to like really get some pace back and start chasing down these guys.
That's amazing, Sanchez. Thank you so much for telling us a little bit about your setup, telling us a little bit about what was going on through your head, because yeah, at the beginning of the race, we didn't think you had a shot because you were dropping like a stone. You were almost in free fall for a little while, tumbling down the order. You just couldn't get back over to that inside line, and drivers just kept on whirring by you like it was nobody's business. But do you feel like you made the right pit stop call and the right strategy calls despite the result? Do you feel like you made the right pit stop calls?
Yes, absolutely. When the caution came out, I was like, all right, got to get 4 fresh tires. All right, so once that whole debacle happened and we got going, and I was leading for clean air, I was saving tires when 30 laps in or 35 laps in, boom, caution. I was racing against Ricky, and so Ricky, he was kind of holding me up a lot with dirty air, and which I understand, trying to fight to stay at least 1 lap down. So I try to back up a little bit, but that dirty air, especially in this car, you get a lot of you just heat up those front tires, and my right front was getting killed because every time I get tight into the corner, I got to turn more, and that causes my right front to get killed a lot more. So what the decision came down to, should I go in and get tires when I saw, Jordan Johnson got the lucky dog, so he was going to stay out. So I'm like, all right, let me go get tires. I gotta at least fight against him because I know he had 45 lap old tires, but I'm pretty sure he was on fire. He was on 100 laps in, and he was still hitting 15.8. I was barely keeping up with him. I was like, damn, this dog, he's letting them eat. He is letting them dogs eat. So I'm like, all right, man, I gotta at least have 40 laps of advantage on his tires and hopefully hold him off. And man, never gave up.
Man, Edward Sanchez, we got to get you into the booth as well. Your energy is so amazing, and your calls are pitch perfect. I mean, we were talking about the exact same thing that you're talking about right now throughout the entire race. His pace, his consistency, 100 lap old tires, trying to go to the end, getting that lucky dog. You pretty much called the entire event for us. That was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much. Is there anybody that you want to shout out? Anybody? Go ahead, Mike.
I have one thing that I would like to ask here real quick to Edward Sanchez. So Edward, you, of course, took the victory here for the Team USA Talent Scout event under the lights at Bristol. Now, that's great. That's a great thing to say, right? But I think the biggest thing of all, of course, is the Moza RS V2 wheel that you have won. How does that make you feel?
Wait, run that back by me one more time. I won what?
You won a Moza RS V2 steering wheel. That is the prize for victory. You didn't even know.
Oh my God, no way. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, let it out. Let it all out. That is all good.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I had to let that one out. Anyways, no, I had no idea. I asked my friend. I asked Aaron. I'm like, wait, hold on. Does first place get anything? He's like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, oh, okay. And then because I was like, I remember when I did the Glen race, I saw like first place gets like some wheel or something. So I thought, but I thought it was like a one-time giveaway. So when he's like, oh no, I don't think so. I'm like, oh, all right then. At least I'll get to win the race. This will be fun. I don't know. Oh my God, I have a R21. So I've been needing a new wheel. Perfect. Because I will be honest, I have been running. Well, now that I'm getting this wheel, next race I will be hopefully if it comes in time. But if not, by next year, whenever it comes in, I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna make a YouTube video on it. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I had my girlfriend next to me, and she was cheering me on the entire time. So Liz is just smiling for me. Thank you. So I guess if that's the answer to that question, then I'll say, the quick thanks to people. Shout out to Baruch ESA, first of all. That is my school esports. That's the beautiful baby blue paint scheme, you guys. Well, I know it wasn't really seen on the broadcast, but that's the school I represent as a senior. So CUNY Baruch College, Baruch ESA, shout out to them. The one time that I forget to make a graphic and announce to them is the one I win. So I'm absolutely going to have to make a winning graphic and have to ask them to please forgive me for not announcing this event with the community. So apologies to President Gabe. Very sorry. Shout out to my parents who let me stay at home. I was supposed to go to a Sweet 16 party, and I told them, I said, look, if you guys let me stay home, I'm gonna win this race, hopefully. And it turns out I did, so it was well worth it. So my dad will be less angry with me, and it's gonna be fantastic. Shout out to my brother, he's doing the Berlin Marathon right now, halfway across the world right now. So shout out to Matthew. Shout out to my beautiful girlfriend Liz, who's standing there on the side. I love her so much. Mwah. Shout out to my boy Aaron, and he was racing with me there. He was kind of egging me on, but man, that competition was fierce, so that was fun. Shout out to Ricky, he's the best guy to really try to hold off that one lap down. So shout out to my man, and shout out to you guys. Shout out to the broadcaster. Shout out to Sophie. Hopefully I got that right. Yeah, Sophie. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the broadcasting, the production. Thank you guys so much for putting this on for us and letting us have fun at the end of the day. I mean, I had a whole lot of fun, and oh my god, I can't believe I won a wheel. Oh, whoa. Okay, anyways, sorry, I don't mean to hold up too much time, but also, yes, I am actually a broadcaster for a college league, for iRacing College League, so that's why I kind of have that type of tempo and spunk in me. But hold on, if I may ask, is the wheel the one that's next to you?
No, this is the R5 wheel. You got one much nicer than this.
Nicer? Oh my god.
Much nicer.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. Anyways, yeah, and
Yes.
Also shout out to my lucky card, Haru Urura.
I was gonna ask. Awesome.
Yeah, so I think people in the community might know who she is, but shout out to Haru Urura, and yeah, never give up. On to Road Atlanta.
Yes,
On to Road
indeed.
Atlanta.
Edward Sanchez, enjoy the champagne. Well, it sounds like you're not old enough to. Either way, hopefully, if you are, enjoy the champagne. Are you?
Whoa.
Okay. You said school. You said school.
I am.
I just
in
want to make
school.
sure.
I'm a senior.
College, though.
In college.
Okay, college.
Oh,
Other
okay.
senior. I just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to make sure.
But
Then
I mean,
enjoy the champagne.
I like myself some Korean liquor, maybe. So shout out to soju.
Get some soju. Get some
Yeah,
soju.
yeah. Love
Absolutely.
you guys.
Have a good
Love
one,
you,
Edward.
man. Take care.
What an incredible interview, I have to say. That is definitely top 5 of all time for me, at least, I would say.
Hands down, my best interview ever and best interview reaction I've ever seen. Edward Sanchez was electric, and he got me pumped up more than I have been the entire race. And I'm sweating after that entire 1,200 laps. And that's saying something. I am absolutely excited to talk to Aaron Brown and Sean Roberts next.
Yes, indeed. We're going to be hearing from them very, very shortly. Just getting them up into the interview booth, of course, presented by AK Esports UK. Big shout out to Tom Bryant for staying up till ungodly hours of the night to put this broadcast on. So, of course, massive shout out to him. But up next, we have our second place finisher, Mr. Aaron Brown. Aaron, how are we doing here tonight?
Oh, doing great. It was a great race. Executed very well with that second place run. Happy for Edward, able to get the win. Working with him all night long. So very good race for both of us.
Yeah, you guys mentioned that you worked close hand in hand. You were running pretty much line and stern for a good majority. Just towards the end there, you and Sean sort of locked bumpers, and you were gaining. Got it down to just under 1 second. And then the gap started extending again. Why don't you talk us through your mindset when you were going through and trying to push to the win at the end?
Yeah, I was trying to push to the end there because that last run about 50 laps. I know Edward, he was trying to push a little bit there, try to get the laps going down a little bit, because if he had a yellow, Jordan definitely had the pace to catch us back up. He had the really long run set up, but he had the older tires, so we had the advantage on that last run. He tried to get as far as he could, so he kind of pushed really early, and I knew he was going to back off towards the end. He was fall off a little bit, so I tried to really save like I was that really first long run, pretty much preparing for a really long run to race to the finish. About 30, like you said, about 30 to go, 25 to go. I started reeling him in just a little bit, from about 2 seconds to about a second and a half. Then I got down to a second after he made a mistake. But I tried running the top a little bit. Maybe that might help a little bit. But I think just pushing to get around from a second and a half to about that second, it really overheated my right front tire. So I really got tight there. And then I had Sean behind me, so I had the pressure. So I just had to try to defend from there. I knew Edward was going to win. Happy for him. He was able to get that. But I was just really trying to defend second with those last 10, 15 laps or so.
Makes sense. Now, talking about the, I guess, kind of pivotal point in this race, the pit stop phase, that was sort of where everything got flipped on its head. Now, we asked this question to Edward, and would you have done anything differently when it comes to the pit stops? Was there something that would have just given you that little extra edge, or did you execute the strategy as well as you could have, and the results just fell where they were?
I think our strategy there, me and Edward, we had enough to go to the end. If you really went out there and full pushed it, well, you would have ripped up your tires. But if you just kind of backed off, you would have naturally saved that fuel. So we had enough to go to the end off the rip anyways. So I think our plan was to go to the end, especially Aaron pitted with about lap 75. He started to fall back to us, and he pitted around lap 75. When that happened, I noticed he goes about 2.5, 3 down when you pit here. So I noticed he was gaining. After about 40 laps, he got 1 lap back, and he was going to be back down. He was just about to unlap himself from us. So he would have been, at that rate, he would have been back to 1 lap down. So theoretically, in that rate, if he kept that same gap, he would have caught us by right around the finish. So I think staying out would have helped there, and I think staying out was the better strategy. Then we had that yellow there with about just under 100 to go. And that yellow shook up a lot of things. Shook up a lot of things with the strategy and the lucky dogs, the wave rounds, and it had different strategies there. And I think 4 tires was the call there, especially going after long 110 laps. It's just all the tires ripped to shreds. It was tight, loose, so it had a different kind of phase of the run. But I think the pit stop strategy, it was going to go pretty well, and I think we had a really strong strategy out in front.
I have to agree with you. I think that was pretty much, couldn't have said it better myself, to be honest. That was very well executed at the end of the day, and everything just fell in your favor. And like I say, it was pretty much a perfect strategy, I think, all things considered. Now, as we get down to it, though, we're coming up, of course, to Watkins Glen. My goodness, I'm taking a trip to the past here. Wait over to Road Atlanta for the GT3s. That's the next race coming up. How do we feel as we go on to the next event?
Road Atlanta, definitely, I feel decent there. I'm normally a prototype guy, so I have a lot more experience in the GTPs and the LMP2, but GT3 definitely is another car to challenge. I did do the Watkins Glen a few months back in June. Fortunately, we got caught up in an early incident there, so try to keep going in that one, but hopefully Road Atlanta will be a little bit better. I know I am pretty strong there in the LMP2. You're going to have to put in a lot of practice, especially with the open setup. We're going to have to find a good setup. That was a big thing tonight as well. Just kind of tweaking that setup week in and week out, just trying to find every last 100,000th of a second you can find out of it, and just also have a good stability. So long race, not an hour and a half for that race, so coming up next month. So hopefully that goes well. I think we're going to feel pretty confident with that in the GT3 cars. Normally, like we're kind of oval guys, so tonight was our night to shine, and luckily we were able to do that tonight with a 1-2. But we're gonna hit the GT3s at Road Atlanta next week. We'll hope the next race we'll hopefully get a good run there and continue this momentum forward.
Excellent. Now, Aaron, before we move on, is there anybody that you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I gotta thank my teammate Edward out in front. We were working together all night long with our strategy, coaching each other through. Just back off here, take your time. Don't make any big mistakes. And we were working together along with our team Proximity Racing. You saw that on my card tonight. But yeah, we were working well together all night long. Gotta thank everyone else for showing out, putting on a great show. It was definitely fun racing around everybody all night long tonight. Gotta thank everyone who puts this on for all of the drivers to have this chance. It's definitely a really good chance to try and get on Team USA. And I gotta thank the viewers for tuning in, and of course you guys for the production of the broadcast tonight.
Awesome. Aaron Brown, everybody, your second place finisher here for Event 5 of the Team USA Talent Scout event powered by Moza. Thank you so much, Aaron, and have a great rest of your evening. Now, Sauger, We're down to one when it comes to the interviews. We're going to hear from Sean Roberts, biggest gainer and who I dubbed as driver of the day. You're going to have the pleasure, of course, of conducting that interview. I'm really excited to hear from him and what could have been. Hearing from Aaron there when it comes to strategy, again, I have to agree with him. I think in terms of running it a little bit later, that was absolutely the right call. Sean Roberts followed suit and pretty much running, I think, the exact same strategy, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll hear from him very shortly on that. And basically, of course, played out the way it did with the exciting battle at the end.
Yeah, super excited to talk to Sean Roberts. You're right, has to be one of the drivers of the day. A driver with a 1793 I rating, competing against some heavy hitters, some 5K rated I rating drivers, as well as 3.4K rating. He's got to pat himself on the back at the end of the night like this. He did a phenomenal job. And let's talk to Sean Roberts next and find out about his race. Sean Roberts, how are you doing tonight? How are you feeling? And you had a phenomenal race. Let me put it that way.
Oh. You know what? We're looking, we'll have a copy
You
here.
might be muted. One second, Sean.
From Discord, by the way, from Discord, we're pulling the audio. But as we do, of course, gotta love live TV, folks.
But like I said, Sean Roberts doing an amazing job pulling out the heavy hitters, the 5K rated Aaron Brown and Edward Sanchez in front of him. And then Jordan Johnson, the 3.4K rating driver behind him. Did a great job, advanced 8 positions overall on the good for the day. The 333 battled it out with a 33 and the 126, both teammates, as you just heard, and had to put up with both of them at the same time. Maybe Aaron Brown was throwing a wrench in Sean Roberts' game as well, slowing him down so he didn't have a chance to catch up to Edward Sanchez on that final run. But who knows? Only they know between themselves. But right now, Sean Roberts is the driver we want to hear from, to hear about his race, how he did it, and more importantly, how does he feel after a long run of things? 200 laps, nothing to shake a stick at, Mike Noss. That's a long run of event.
No, I'd be a little sweaty after that one myself, to be completely honest. I think in terms of my endurance, again, we're going to do that soon. For anyone curious, we're going to have Tuesday triple threats coming up very, very soon. So if you want to see me racing again and see how much endurance I actually have, it's very little. I don't have much. That's why I don't do much endurance racing, it turns out. But of course, that's something that we'll build with time. I'm basically a noob, so it's going to be, it feels weird to be back in the sim. We just got to shake the dust off and we'll be back. But hopefully I'm seeing a little bit of mic movement here from Sean Roberts. We might have a copy.
I think Mike Noss sells himself a little bit short. I've had the pleasure of commentating on one of Mike Noss's races also.
That's true. Forgot about that.
He does turn into a bit of a boning ball at times. So let's talk to Sean Roberts, though, and hear about his race. Sean Roberts, do you have a copy, sir?
Oh, let's give this try again, another try.
Sounds great, Sean. We can hear you loud and clear. Driver of the day, as voted by Michael Noss here at the Init Esports Lounge, brought to you by AK Esports UK. You gained 8 positions from where you started. You're in 3rd place. How does it feel to finally finish the event?
Oh, that was an intense race. I didn't think I was even going to remotely finish in the top 3. I just got lucky with my strategy that I was going to go with.
Now, so speaking of strategy, is there anything that you wish you had done differently as far as strategy is concerned? Because, I mean, you made all the right calls, in our opinion.
No, I played my strategy exactly how I wanted to. I didn't feel I had the pace on the guys that were ahead of me, especially short run, qualifying, and stuff like that. So, especially with the field size that we have, my goal was every yellow flag, stop, 2 tires, 4 tires, depending on how long the run was. And actually, if we only had that first caution in the beginning, I was good to go on fuel at the end, so I didn't have to stop. So basically, all my other tire stops were just to put a fresh set of tires on.
Wow, very interesting. Thank you for giving us that insight. Now tell us a little bit about your setup as well. Were you set up for restarts? Were you set up for long endurance racing? Kind of what was your goal from the get-go, from the onset?
I didn't set up the car per se. It was just a setup that Bond felt comfortable with, and I just implemented what I normally do in my league races that I'm running with all the NASCAR stuff that I do. It was to preserve the tires, run along on the fuel and just, try to work my way up through strategy and some pace on the back end of a run.
For sure. That's a great insight to have. Just keep it calm, cool, and collected for your entire race. Let the race come to you. Take your pit stop advantages when you can, and eventually it'll pay dividends like it did for you here tonight. And Sean, is there anybody that you want to thank or anybody that you want to mention? You did such a phenomenal job. There's got to be someone you got to thank for your run of things.
I wish there was someone special, but it was just, big thanks to the league for putting this on. I mean, I know we had a small field. Sounds like there was a little bit of an issue about timing, but, we got the field that we did. Big thanks to you guys for putting this on, putting it on the broadcast. I follow the broadcast every single time we do one of these races. Eric over at Grand Touring Motorsports, he got me to sign up for this. So I've been doing, the races from the beginning of the season. So sadly, I won't be here in a couple weeks for Road Atlanta because I will be down in Brazelton, Georgia for Petit Le Mans.
Oh, well, that is a good excuse, Sean Roberts. I can't blame you for missing out to go to a real live event like Petit Le Mans. It's got to be something iconic. Are you camping? Are you hoteling? Tell me a little bit about it. Give me some deets.
Yeah, I'm staying at a hotel nearby. The thing, my issue is Road Atlanta is one of my best tracks on the platform. I would have had a lot of fun racing in a couple weeks.
Oh man, we're gonna miss seeing you there, Sean Roberts. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. And thank you very much for being a supporter of Team USA Talent Scout events, Bristol Lights, and the partnered with Moser Racing. You've been a phenomenal person to interview. It was phenomenal to watch your run tonight, and we hope to see you back on track sooner rather than later. Enjoy Petit Le Mans.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you at Laguna Seca in a few weeks.
See you there, brother.
Yes, indeed. And that is going to do it for tonight, folks. But before that, of course, he mentioned as well, shouting out Eric. I do got to say, we got to shout Crew Chief Eric out because why the heck not? He's a great guy. The Motorsports Podcast, everybody, if you are looking to find even our In It Talks, we post our In It Talks over on that as well, but plenty of other motorsport-related podcasts as well as, of course, getting women involved in motorsports as well. Lots of panels. In fact, I was on one of those panels, in fact, myself. So if you are looking at that, I did a nice little podcast with Eric a while ago. Highly recommend checking that out. Now, free plugs aside, of course, a big shout out to our main plug here for tonight and our main sponsor, Moser Racing. Of course, this being the Moza R5 bundle wheel here. My Moza R5 bundle is sitting over there attached to my Next Level Racing Simulator, which you can watch me drive this Tuesday. We're going to be having our Tuesday Triple Threats back in action. I need to see me out on track this time. We can race with a commentator. I don't know, good thing or a bad thing, but we're gonna find out. Now, of course, other events that we have, the high school championship, as well as our collegiate event that's coming up very, very shortly. You can head on over to initesports.gg/carsim for more information. Also, if you're looking to pick up some Moza products, !Moza in chat, you can find our affiliate where it will help out tremendously if you do purchase from there. But Sauger, let's round up the night. I will say, the event is done. The results are not technically officially in. We still have to, of course, have our stewards take a look at the race. Penalties will be advised. But at the end of the day, Edward Sanchez, our victory winner here tonight for the Bristol Lights. Aaron Brown in second, Sean Roberts in third. Are there any final thoughts that we have here before we do close this one out?
Thank you very much for having me alongside you, Mike Noss. It's been a great time. Thank you very much to Team Talent Scout USA for putting this event on under the Bristol Lights. This has been phenomenal. Thank you very much to AK Esports as well for having us put on a wonderful production. And thank you very much to our staff, Tom Bryant, for putting on the wonderful colors and pictures for you guys. It's been a wonderful evening, and thank you very much for allowing us to take you from green to checkered flag. Have a wonderful night, and as always, make sure you stay safe out there.
Absolutely. And with that, folks, we are going to be concluding. Of course, a massive shout out to eClutch as well. We are out live on the eClutch platform as well. So we thank everybody from watching there as well. Twitch side and the VOD watch. We thank you as well. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are on the YouTube side. If you guys are watching on Twitch, hit that follow button. We'll be back for more action sooner rather than later. And of course, sign up for the Team USA Talent Scout event. Next event, October 11th. That's going to be the GT3s at Road Atlanta? No, again, yes, at Road Atlanta. Yes, I have double checked it. Road Atlanta GT3s coming up soon. That's going to be, of course, on October 11th. But on that note, folks, I hope everybody has a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. We thank you, and good night.